Welcome to the latest papal profiles. This week, I look at two consecutive popes, Gregory IX and Innocent IV, who attempted to utilize the fraudulent provisions supposedly granted by the notorious donation of Constantine and Gregory VII's Dictatus Papae to subjugate and depose a secular ruler, the Holy Roman Emperor Frederick II. Having previously excommunicated Frederick twice in 1227 and 1228 over the handling of the Sixth Crusade, in 1236 Pope Gregory IX wrote Epistle 703, drawing directly on the imperial privileges that succeeding popes had extended beyond what was granted since the donation's emergence a few centuries earlier. Gregory declares that Constantine submitted imperial authority not just to the papacy but to the entire priesthood. This was an open challenge to the power of the Holy Roman Emperor, establishing an unprecedented projection of power, claiming, "You see the necks of kings and princes prostrate at the feet of priests, and Christian emperors must subject their actions not only to the Roman pontifex, but have to respect other priests just as highly." While Frederick simply ignored the Pope's assertions, others did not reject the papal claims and accepted that Constantine's donation of imperial power to the Bishop of Rome was legitimate, and thus papal jurisdiction was something contemporary monarchs were powerless to contest. Consequently, Frederick became the first recipient of entirely made-up, exaggerated papal claims of imperial submission. Then in 1245, Pope Innocent IV went even further than Gregory, issuing a papal bull declaring that he had the power to depose Frederick, noting, "To us, in the person of the blessed apostle Peter, has been said, whatever you bind on earth, etc., denounce the said prince. We mark him out as bound by his sins, an outcast, and deprived by our Lord of every honor and dignity. And we deprive him of them by our sentence. We absolve from their oath forever all those who are bound to him by an oath of loyalty, firmly forbidding by our apostolic authority anyone in the future to obey or heed him as emperor or king." However, it was Innocent's encyclical of 1246, Agar qui Levia, where he merely redefined how the donation was to be understood. Innocent simply proclaimed the papal sovereign right to rule was always part of their authority derived through Peter as the mythological first bishop of Rome, and Constantine only acknowledged that pre-existing fact, writing, "The Apostolic See first received rule over the empire from the Prince Constantine, for this rule is known to have been inherent in the Apostolic See naturally and potentially beforehand. Jesus established not only a pontifical but a royal monarchy in the Apostolic See, committing to Peter and his successors control over both an earthly and a heavenly empire." The fictions of the late 4th or early 5th century Acts of Sylvester, upon which all succeeding forgeries were built, including the donation of Constantine supposedly granting the Western Roman Empire to the papacy, had evolved into an accepted fact centuries later. Fictions that had gained enough power for a pope to try deposing an emperor 900 years later. Thanks for watching. Please check out the other videos on my channel if history is your thing, and see you next time.